Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Cabaret Hotspot. Today, I have a remarkable woman that started this program. She's the founder of a program called Music While We're on the Inside. And it premieres every Sunday from 6 to 8 o'clock-ish. Sometimes it goes later, and has an amazing lineup of people in the jazz community performing. It's pretty spectacular. Please welcome Alina Bloomgarden. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much.
Tell us, how did this come about and how old it is? Because the name is so profound. Music While We're on the Inside. I mean, it sounds so specific to COVID, but that's not what it means at all, is it?
Well, let me tell you what it derives from. 5 years ago, and I'll tell you how this happened also, I started Music on the Inside, and we brought music education into prisons, jails and prisons, working with incarcerated people. And it was inspired by Louis Armstrong. A couple of years before that, I produced what we called a Satchmeration in Woodstock, Vermont, celebrating Louis Armstrong. And in the process, I became much more aware that he was arrested when he was 11 years old and sent to the Colored Waifs Home for Boys, where they had a boys band, and it changed his life. And I thought, what are we doing today? And I have a background in the jazz world. I was, the most famous thing I ever did in my life, actually, was that I convinced Lincoln Center that jazz had a place there, and I started jazz at Lincoln Center. And I brought Wynton Marsalis there. And I therefore have contact with the jazz musicians, and I felt that they would want to help this population. And that's certainly been true in all these years. Everybody I speak to say they want to help because it's just so unfair for a lot of people, and we sort of discard people and don't give
Yes.
them a chance. So
And don't help them when they get out either. When you say work with people, what do you mean by that? Giving lessons, mentoring? What's the scope of your?
exactly, giving lessons, mentoring. In the last couple of years, we worked in state facilities teaching guitar, singing, and songwriting. And we brought in a lot, and then we would have a show at the end and bring in top musicians. The last show we had Arturo O'Farrell, we had Russell Hall, and other people came in and performed with the people that we worked with for
Mhm.
the entire facility. And it was very gratifying work. We worked with Antoinette Montague and Richard Miller, who are now the hosts of our Music While We're Inside concerts. So when the virus happened and all the prisons shut down, we just somehow immediately started Music While We're Inside. And these
Do
one
these get broadcast in the prison system? Can the people inside see
they
it?
don't have
No.
capacity for that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
yeah. But
But
we all,
the monies raised are still going towards this program, though.
well, here's what's happening now. Every single show features prominent artists in jazz and cabaret, Broadway, and elsewhere. And then we always have someone who's been impacted by incarceration performing along with the artists because there are a lot of talented people.
Hmm.
And so we're bringing awareness to what we're doing. And what's happening now for us that's so exciting is, first of all, teaching many more people in reentry. And there are many talented people, really
Hmm.
developed musicians who deserve the support. And then we're matching them up one by one with artists that can mentor and teach them. And that's really been an exciting new development for us, the focus on people in reentry.
Are you looking to use Zoom to do educational classes going forward, depending on what happens with COVID? Because this seems to be a very effective tool for learning and working within the scope of not being able to actually go back into the prisons. But I guess if they don't have a computer system or a TV system set up, it'd be very difficult to do that. So it's mostly the folks coming out that we're going to be focusing on, or?
Right now we're focusing on the people coming out,
Hmm.
and everyone seems to have a phone. Once you have a phone, you can do Zoom.
Yeah.
And I feel that Zoom is going to continue. We're going to continue with Zoom. What's happening for us is that with Zoom, we can teach people. We're working with a woman who was in Pennsylvania prisons. We're working with somebody else in South Carolina. And we can work with musicians from all over the world,
Hmm.
mentor them. And really, musicians want to help this population. So for us, this is an opportunity actually for a lot of growth.
If there's a blessing in disguise with this whole
Right.
COVID thing, it has been, I mean, even for us as performers to be able to reach out. My uncle in Florida could never see me sing. Now he can, so there's this
Exactly.
whole other area, and eventually being able to monetize that depending on the quality of how things go. Let's talk about the mentoring program. You say you match people up. So if someone who's re-entering wants to study cabaret, for example, which is something that I teach, you would refer them to me and I could invite them into a class. I could work with them one-on-one. How does that work?
we're creating a model so that all the teachers that work with us are under the umbrella of Music on the Inside. And we have a real model for it now where you teach once a week, you
Mm-hmm.
check in the middle of the week, and there'll be one time of the week that all the students and all the teachers get together because we want to build community. We
Mm-hmm.
want people who come out of prison to not just go back to their old communities, but to have new communities through the music community.
And music heals, as we all know.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the hosts, about Antoinette, and how did you find her, and how did you come to work with her? And it's Richard, right? Richard's a guitar player, Richard
Yeah,
Miller.
goes back a ways. When we first started working in the prisons, we worked in Rikers Island. We were just teaching singing and songwriting to the youth who were incarcerated there waiting for their court dates. And then when I connected with Richard Miller, someone introduced me to him, we began teaching guitar, and the difference was so noticeable. When someone was given an instrument in someone's hands, the focus and the seriousness was very different. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, in the state prisons, we were working with adults, which is also different. So we work with both youth and adults. And Antoinette, I'd known Antoinette for years because through Mercedes Ellington, who's going to be in our show this coming week. And I called her up and see if she would teach for us. And I remember she says to this day, she wasn't exactly keen to work with this population at first,
Wow.
but it's been so heart opening for all of us because just a few notes on a guitar and singing a little bit, and all of a sudden, everyone forgets they're in prison. And the trust and openness
Mm-hmm.
that happens is miraculous. The students we work with wrote us letters and told us how it changed their lives. And we felt like it took so little to do so much with music. Music is so direct.
It is. It is. I was speaking to someone else that I was interviewing, and he's a piano bar player, and he was talking about how the greatest gift to him is seeing someone's growth and potential. And then how someone came up to him one time and said, you know, when you gave me that opportunity and believed in me, it changed my life. It changed how I felt about myself. And I would imagine that happens a lot with these folks, you know, just having someone believe in them. There's probably talent all over the place that's just
Absolutely.
untapped, I'm sure, right?
We're discovering that. So we're reaching out to other organizations that we've been in contact with over the years and getting students from many different directions. So the potential for us right now is huge, and we're just sort of trying to see how we can really serve many more people and any
Mhm.
instrument,
So it's male, female, and youth.
male, female, and youth.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fantastic. And what is your kind of mission statement? I know I read it, but I don't know it verbatim. But it was work with professional musicians to transform through music, education, mentorship programs with hope for the incarcerated and soon to be released. Is that the
You
gist
said
of
it
it?
pretty well. Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
The
beautiful.
things I feel that we're really doing is bringing together two communities, professional musicians who really want to help this population, and many of these people who have talent and have not been supported in that
Hmm.
development. I
Now,
mean, in our
how?
programs, the people who are
Please.
part in our programs in the prisons are self-selecting. Not everyone's a musician. Not
Hmm.
everyone is drawn to it. But those people for which music has already meant something, to support them is really valuable for them and for us. It's really been life-changing for all of us.
Do you have a program where musicians can donate instruments, for
Yes,
example?
musicians can donate instruments. And right now I have 7 guitars in my home. Yes. All the guitars we've had have been donated. But now we're
Nice.
expanding to any instrument. And the way I'm envisioning it is one by one, as we identify a formerly incarcerated person in a particular instrument, then we can put out the word, maybe even through you, to say we need, like right now we're teaching someone on flute and saxophone.
Well, tell me the specifics off the interview. Send me an email with the specific instruments you're looking for, and I'll see what I can do. And in this interview on the bottom, we're going to have a link, and we're going to write what you're doing and everything, so people can find you and certainly find this incredible show that happens every Sunday night from 6 to 8. Tell me a few of the like really bigger names that you've had. I saw a couple on that Zoom screen. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's pretty wild.
Well, so many musicians really want to help the population. Wycliffe Gordon was with us last week. He's a wonderful trombone
Hmm.
teacher and educator, and he's really working with us to develop our program for reentry. Um, Emmett Cohen, the amazing pianist. This weekend, we're going to have Mercedes Ellington. Who popped out to you? We had Katie McGrath, who connected us.
Katie, yeah, Katie connected us, and I know that Gabrielle Stravelli, who's a good friend, has also been
Gabrielle
on.
Belli was with
She's
us.
awesome. Yeah,
Fabulous. Who else
yeah. and
absolutely.
oh, what's her name? The girl from New Jersey. Anyway, there were so many. I mean, the whole screen, and you
You
had
know,
like
we're going
80
into our
people.
14th concert this Sunday, so you
Yeah,
can imagine we've had a lot of talent so far,
yeah.
and it's been beautiful. In fact, one of the things we're doing is developing Moti Musicians for Justice. So we want musicians to have a sense of belonging with this mission, and really make it part of what they're doing and thinking about. Ever since I started this program, the first person I spoke with was Wynton Marsalis, and I told him what I wanted to do. He said, "I want to help you." So he's our artistic advisor,
Super.
and all these years I've spoken to so many musicians who say they want to help, but I wasn't as clear how they could help because our program was still small and
Hmm.
developing.
How old are you? How old has this
We're
been
only
going?
5 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
So, but
yeah.
now that we're thinking one by one, connecting musicians with individuals, then we really have a place for many more musicians to help.
That's fantastic. Now, your website is musicontheinside.org. .org,
Exactly.
right? All right, so you can make donations that way. Are you a 501c3?
Yes, we are. We're not
Yeah. Oh,
a
super.
charitable organization. Hmm.
Really, really excellent. What's coming up for you guys? I mean, with this new phase happening, what are your plans going forward that you're hoping for under the best scenario?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I feel it's a very exciting moment for us. We're beginning to really develop this program for reentry. We're in conversation with the DA's uh, reentry program in Brooklyn. There's 1,000 people in reentry there. So it's our small organization is positioned right now to serve many more people. And of course, we're continuing the music while we're inside concerts every Sunday, six to seven, although they usually go a little past seven. We
And
always
you
do it at 7 o'clock.
do them on Eventbrite, but if they go to the website, again, musicontheinside.org, they can get a link to make
Yes,
an RSVP, and then you receive a
yes,
Zoom link, correct? But there's no
exactly right.
charge for this.
No charge. They're free concerts.
Okay,
Yeah. And
that's
people
really
have
good.
been really supporting us through this, which is so moving. We also have them support the artists. So there's two links on every concert. The artists who give us a Zoom PayPal link take part in a pool. We
Hmm.
want to support the artists because the artists really need support right now too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then those people who want to support our program can also support on another link. And
That's
both of those people have been really responsive and supportive, and it's been very, very encouraging to us.
now if people want to reach out and offer you mentorship or class, they could also reach out through the website and
Yes,
contact you
that would be
directly.
wonderful. There's a contact link on our website. I'd love to hear from people. We're really developing. From the very beginning, I felt that the jazz community, particularly, which is the community I knew more, would want to help this population. So now I want to see us sort of as a collective, as
Hmm.
musicians helping this population. And also, this is a moment in time where people are thinking about this, which is rare. And I don't know how long it'll last, but people are aware of criminal justice and the inequities of it and the unfairness.
Right.
And so, if musicians and artists as a collective, as a movement can come together, I think it's very powerful. That's,
Well,
yeah.
it's powerful too with the social volatile climate that we're in too, to be able to reach out and help people regardless of any of the other stuff going down around them, just the injustice of what has happened to them and how to help them come back to society in a way that's healthy for them
And
and
all of us.
brings joy into their lives again and gives them hope. I think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous thing that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And what if you could have like a crystal ball and see into the future, where would you like this to develop to? What would you like to see this become?
I'd like
I
to see,
always believe to put it out in the universe because then it can happen.
I believe it should be national.
Hmm.
We can help people from anywhere in the country coming out of any prison, and that musicians from anywhere in the world could support, and that musicians as a community, as a movement, to really care about this population and not waste these people.
Hmm.
Give them an opportunity to come back with their talents and their heart. And they really, I mean, we've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, that's a great goal, and I can see that actually happening. And again, in the advent of becoming online with all of this, it's possible to do it first this way until such time that chapters can be open across the country and everything. I wish you every success with that. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us that we didn't cover today that you feel like you'd want the people looking at this video to know about what you're doing there?
Please get in contact with us if you'd like to be part of our Music While We're Inside performances. We love to feature dedicated artists who really want to share something. Each artist just performs for 5 minutes
Hmm.
from their own homes. It's from our homes to your homes, from our heart to your heart, as Antoinette often says. And Richard Miller has been wonderful. He's a wonderful guitarist, and he does so much to help this program as well. So we're a real team, and it's been great. Katie McGrath is part of our team, and it's been
And
fabulous.
Chet's been doing such
And
great
Chet,
things with the Black Lives Matter movement. He's just an awesome human being. So
he is. I'm so glad to meet you as well.
pleasure
Let
to
me know if
meet
you want to
you.
perform with us.
Yes, I will. I'm happy to perform. And, I have a lot of Broadway star friends who I'm sure if you want to kind of develop a little more, I can refer you to some very big names because
Katie
everybody's out of work right now. Everybody's looking for something
Sullivan,
to contribute.
Sullivan, who KT Sullivan and Mark Nadler were at our last salon. We usually, when we're in normal times,
Hmm.
have salons in a private home with top artists and also people who serve time
Hmm.
together. And the last one over the holidays was KT Sullivan with Mark Nadler. Then we had Christian McBride, and then the COVID happened, and then
Yeah.
we changed to music while we're inside.
Which is genius. It's just genius. It was such an honor to meet you, and I
Thank
know your
you.
background. I did a little research on you, and it seemed like such a natural progression for you to go from what you already did with Jazz at Lincoln Center to developing this even further. And God bless Winton for kind of working with you on this. I think he's always the first one in line with his hand up to help, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're a pretty impressive family.
Uh,
Anyway, thank you for joining us. I will have a link up to you, and hopefully, a lot of people will contact you with ways that they can help you in offering their time and their talent. Don't forget to go to musicontheinside.org and watch every Sunday night from 6 to 8. And you can find all the information on Cabaret Hotspot and how to connect with Alina and this wonderful program. Thank you again.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you
Steve.
joining
Thank
us.
you very much.